Welcome. It truly feels great to be here filming today. I know we talked about this in my last video, but recently, for I would say the past month or so, maybe even a little bit longer, you guys have been seeing pre-recorded content. I needed that spring season to be pre-recorded just so I could really sort out my thoughts, make it through that busy season of my life, and kind of determine my next steps, which is when I filmed last week's video, the Candid Candles and Conversations. No, Candid Conversations and Candles video, where we talked about LV and the updates that I intend to spend the rest of this year making. And can I just say a humongous thank you for all of the positive comments underneath of that video. Honestly, I was very scared to film that because I know how it may come across to people that I'm constantly changing and constantly talking about pivoting and doing this instead of this. But it does truly feel like I have made the best decision for not only my business, but for myself and for my family. And one comment that I did really want to point out, because this person has been watching my videos for a while, comments all the time. I love having the conversations. It's Love Lather 9012. And I wanted to point out this person's comment because I truly feel like she was able to identify something that I couldn't figure out how to word. And I wanted to share it with you because I think it truly does represent how I have been feeling and what kind of prompted me to make these changes. And I'll put the comment up here on the screen. He says, I don't feel like I'm giving up or not going after my dreams. I'm very much living them. I'm trying to chill out so I can actually enjoy them. And 100%, yes, that is exactly how I feel. I felt like I was missing everything while trying to be present for everything, but also growing my business at the same time and constantly needing to make the products and do this and do that. But I wasn't really enjoying any time. And I do think a lot of that has to do with my personality. I'm just kind of naturally more squirrely or more like, hyper focused into things until it wears off and then I don't ever want to see it again. So I'm very much so that kind of person. And I think that if you don't have a very strong plan and a really, really concrete way to be decisive, if you are that kind of person, then you'll end up like me and just kind of floundering. So that's kind of where the idea for today's video came into play. And I apologize for looking like probably a wet rat. We had our annual fifth grade versus the teachers and parents kickball game. So we were outside for over an hour. It was blazing. It was absolutely amazing. We ended up really smashing the kids, honestly. And it's just a really super fun event that we do every single year. And of course I play every year. So that was fun. We ended up winning 25-4. Of course, the kids are saying that we all cheated, but we know what the truth is. But that's all besides the point. Let's get into the reason that you are all here. I want to talk about why your handmade products may not be selling, even if you feel like you're doing everything right. And I wanted to bring awareness to this because I truly feel like it is very upsetting. It's very devastating to go through and, make all of these business decisions and investments and, do all of this marketing and all of these things for products to launch them and them not sell. All right, first things first. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've kind of gone back and forth about whether or not collection-based products or random products that cover a wide variety of customer likes or customer preferences is the best choice. And the conclusion that I have come to, and I wholeheartedly stand behind, is that random products are not going to get you a customer base. They're not going to earn you a consistent customer base. Yes, you can get some sales here and there from it, but if you're looking to grow in a sustainable way, in a way that brings customers returning to you, season after season, product after product, if you're looking to get your customers to grab your product from you, as opposed to putting it in their cart at the Target pickup, then you need to do this right here. And that is create a signature collection that you put absolutely every egg or apple in your basket. This is the number one thing you need to work on and have down packed. First and foremost, it shows your consistency as a business owner. And what I mean by that is it gives people a really good idea and impression of how you package your products, what ingredients you use in your products, whether or not they can trust that you'll have their new favorite product every single time they come to your website. Back in the beginning of my journey, I had a signature collection. I had 4 fragrances in it. I had lavender haze, I had white cashmere, I had tea time, and I had bright sunshine. Those were like my 4 main. Oh, and actually, if you're like super OG, I also had she's a lush. And those were absolutely wonderful. Again, I offered those things at the beginning of my business. So formulas changed, product offerings changed, colorants changed, ingredients changed. There wasn't consistency from, say, one bottle to the next. And the top thing that comes to my mind actually is my transition from offering body butter to body lotion. The She's a Lush was super popular. The fragrance was Brambleberries Pink Mimosa. It was wonderful. Everyone loved it. I love that fragrance. It still brings back like those memories of those first products that I was ever making. But one season I made it as a body butter, and then I brought it back the next season as a body lotion. Obviously, they're 2 totally different products. And I found that a lot of people were just asking for the body butter. And when I would say, I don't actually offer that right now in the summer because it's too hot, or right now in the winter because body lotion really took over once I launched it, people were not buying it in the same way they were when it was the body butter. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of makers do without realizing it's costing them sales. Each time you change something about your product, you're bumping it back down to like, I don't know what to call it, maybe like a new business to the people or to your customers, which may not make a lot of sense, but like, if you think about it as a customer yourself, let's say you go to Target and you get the same exact blush every time you go to Target. And the next time you go back to Target, the logo looks different and the package is different and the color is the same name, but it looks different and the ingredients and it's like new formula. You don't know if you can trust that. You kind of have to build back up your trust with that brand. And that is exactly what happens here. Each time you're changing those things or making those updates, yes, you're making your product better, which I would recommend doing, right? But each time you present it again in a new way, your customers need to build back up their trust with you. The next thing that all of my experience has taught me is that cohesive collections are the key. They are extremely important, not only because, like how we just talked about with building trust, but the other thing that people don't typically consider when they're building out that collection is this is where you're going to find your core customers, those customers that are going to be OGs, those customers that are going to be obsessed with your brand. If you watch a lot of like videos online about creating content, like they always talk about having that first 100 fans and how the first 100 like true fans that you actually get will change your life. That's the same thing here. And it's not just your signature collection. Cohesive meaning like everything aligns and everything flows. I found it to be a huge disconnect when I was looking into my collections in comparison with my website, in comparison to my brand voice. None of it truly matched. And because I'm naturally indecisive about these things, it took me forever to figure out. And I know that is a huge reason as to why I wasn't making sales. If your collection isn't cohesive, if the presentation you give to your customers doesn't match what they already know and already trust about your brand, they are far less likely to buy from you. It is costing you sales if you do not have a cohesive message to share and a cohesive collection that represents your brand. All right, sorry guys, it got really hot. I ended up having to take off that little jacket. I was just wearing it because it covered my bottom. And of course, because we had the kickball game, everyone was like wearing leggings, but I always like to do like, you know, the little tie around the waist just to make sure everything's all covered and appropriate. So I had to take it off though. I started sweating. I get super passionate when I talk about cohesiveness because I find it's like the biggest area where I was weak in my own brand. So I like to focus and spend more time on those areas because I truly feel like that's where you would find the value in my videos and the things that I bring to the table. So anywho, the next thing I want to cover is about fragrance oils. I have spoken at nauseum about fragrance oils and how they can make or break your brand. Not only does fragrance oil come into play while you're developing your collections, again, to make them cohesive, right? We don't want to have a tropical launch and launch a chocolate dipped strawberry fragrance with a tinge of mistletoe. Like none of that is cohesive, right? And I know this sounds weird and it's kind of weird to say, but fragrance oils and the choices that you offer to your customer are not as shallow as you think. And a great representation of this is any brand that offers like a nostalgic fragrance oil product, something that brings a memory of old times. Now, the pink mimosa fragrance that I offered as She's a Lush, it just brings back such great memories and I'm more likely to buy it. And not everything needs to be nostalgic. If that's your unique perspective or how you represent or sell products in your brand, then that's one thing, right? You don't have to go in a nostalgic tone, but you need to consider who is buying your product and what they might enjoy. For example, if my brand is luxury, okay, and I'm selling to the Meryl Streeps in the Devil Wears Prada of the world, I'm not going to launch a coconut-based fragrance because I know she's probably not going to buy a coconut-based fragrance, right? She is more of a Nordic Meadows from Simbi. I hope that's the right name. It used to be called Layla and now it's called, I'm pretty sure it's Nordic Meadows, but whichever fragrance from Simbi used to be called Layla. She's going to buy that. She might do a strawberries and cream if she's feeling a little fun that day. You know, there are specific fragrances that go with specific types of people, and you have to make sure that you're offering that for them if you want them to not only one, try your products for a first time, but come back and be a repeat customer. And again, that lends itself to creating cohesive collections, which lends itself back to the first thing that we talked about today, which was random products aren't building trust with your audience. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to cover in this video, and I think I kind of did, but I just wanted to touch on a few other points, is how you can fix these things without drowning and feeling like giving up all of your time. I truly think the best and most effective way to figure out why your products aren't selling is to look at whatever or wherever you offer your products with a new customer brain. And by this, I mean you need to really sit back, take your feelings out of it and look on your website, or if you sell on Etsy, or if you have a display locally, what are your products saying about your brand? How do they look? Do they represent a whole picture? Take a look at them and really, really consider where you are lacking. And I think that this can depend on where you're offering your products. For example, I know that when I launch a new product at the boutique that I am in my town, it takes people a while to warm up to the product. Then when I go back, I think to myself, okay, if I'm a customer, why am I not buying this? And the answer is 9.5 times out of 10 because I didn't say anything about it. I didn't post on social media about it. I'm terrible about posting on my business's Instagram, and I'm even worse about posting on Facebook. If I looked on my brand Facebook right now, I guarantee you the last post that I made was probably 2 months ago. I am super terrible about keeping up with that. But if I'm looking at what's in front of me and trying to learn about a new product or seeing a new product that piques my interest, I should be able to read something about that product, like a sign or a note or like a little pamphlet or like a postcard, anything, right? And another perfect example of that is my products are special at that boutique because they are made in the same town a week before you see them, unless they need to cure, obviously. But they're super, super close to the community. They're made within the community. I use high quality products. I source from reputable suppliers. I need to say all of these things, but in a customer friendly way. My customers might not care if my products were sourced from a sustainable supplier that promises not to use child labor, right? They might care about that. And I hope that they care about that. Like I care about that, but it's not like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like the show catcher, if you get what I'm saying. That would be something that I would add later on after the people, maybe online where people might be checking out my website, right? It's an important fact to know, but it's not like sexy, if you get what I'm saying. Like it's not what's going to sell my products. What's going to sell my product are the key benefits that they give to the customer immediately. You got to find that, really enticing thing to say about your products and add that to a sign, right? Don't just put a price list and list out all of your ingredients, which I did and have continually been guilty of. They can read that on the bottle. You need signage or information that grabs the people and gives them like the top one-liners that are going to help sell your product. That would be my advice for anyone selling in person. But if you are selling online or have like a website, what I would recommend there is really educating your customers and sharing what's special about your products with infographics. I've made a ton of different ones. I've also begun making like a set of templates that I'm going to put inside my very first vault of digital resources. I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm working on some templates that I can give to you that can help you as well. People need to see it super, super quick. Think about when you're going to buy something online, what do you look for? What's the most important thing to you? What's going to cause you to press that buy button? And how can you give it to the customer like super, super quickly without taking a lot of their time, without losing their interest? They're not going to search through your 1,000 word description, which according to internet gurus around the world is the best way to get showcased and the best way to move up higher in Google search results is to have a product description between 750 and 1,000 words. They're not reading all of that. You have to pick out what's the most important and put that in a way where they can read it. Everyone's half paying attention. How can you make them fully pay attention online? Let's chat for a second about this vault of digital resources. As you know, if you watched this video here, if you haven't, I would definitely recommend watching it, especially if you have been on my channel before and are trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I think it's a good watch. So basically, I've kind of been going back and forth about whether I wanted to keep Patreon as the platform for my digital resources or if I wanted to take my Patreon down and revamp and start a Stan store. And down in the description below is my Stan store. And I am super, super excited about it. The only resource in there right now is going to be something called the Formulators Vault. Of course, we're going through some changes. We're becoming more formulation experts. We need some behind the scenes. We need some business and, marketing advice, which is what I am here for. So in that vault right now, I have 19 downloadable resources for you. Okay. So you'll get like formulation and recipes. You'll get templates. You'll get collection planners, like how to plan a collection, which I have a full-on detailed video about coming very, very soon. You'll get dupe recipes that I make. You'll get original recipes that I formulated myself. There's just so many things in there. There's a link to my fragrance oil spreadsheet where I put all of my testing notes for every fragrance oil that I try. It's got so many, again, it's so many resources. And right now I'm offering it for $29. It's just a one-time $29 fee. It's not monthly like Patreon is. You download the vault one time, you have access as long as the vault is posted, and you can use everything and download everything like as many times as you want, which is super great. There are like digital links so you can make it your own Canva template. There are PDFs. I mean, I'm telling you, there are so many great things in there. There are also some ChatGPT prompts that will help you in a non-cringy, like AI bro type of way, which I have a video planned for. I just haven't filmed it yet. I truly believe that once you unlock the vault, you will see how purposeful and how meaningful everything is within it. If you are a member of my Patreon, I have updated all of the resources that were in there. So now they're very cohesive. They're very on brand to me, Sarah, and what I want to represent. They're very fun. They're very cutesy. Just feel like if you download everything in there, you'll be very happy with the value that the vault gives you. It is a true labor of love. I have been working on it. I started by updating the old things from Patreon, or like my previous editions of it from Patreon, and just have really been going ever since. I haven't stopped yet. And I can't say enough how wonderful, in my humble opinion, these resources are, and how much they have helped me go from being like a super crazy, indecisive squirrel business owner to being a high functioning business owner that actually gets things done in enough time to make the sales I intend to make. So those are in there. No pressure, of course, but it is a truly great resource. I would love for you to get your hands on it. Once I hit in the next couple of resources, I am going to increase the cost of it. So right now it is $29. Definitely get your hands on it now. If you enjoyed today's video and would love to continue getting the value from me here at LV, hit the subscribe button. And just on cue, my 3-year-old has entered the room. So we're going to stop there, and I will see you. There she is. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
No.